Okay, that is what SAP basically stands for: Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. SAP is basically a name of an organization. Okay, SAP AG as it is called. Okay, and they are one of the this is the key. SAP is basically a company which is well known in the market across the world for ERP solutions. Okay, SAP is well known across the world, across markets for ERP solution. They are global leaders when it comes to providing ERP solutions. So when the minute we take the word SAP, the minute we name SAP as the software, it automatically reflects that it is an ERP solution, or the first thing that strikes people's mind is that it is an ERP solution. So it's a very popular ERP tool. So you take any product that comes from SAP. Okay, we take any product that is released in the market by SAP, that is some way or the other associated with business data processing. Okay, SAP does not spend its time and energy on any other kind of applications or softwares. Okay, like operating system or database or video games or nothing. SAP primarily focuses on providing business solutions. So all their products, any of the products that are there out there in the market from SAP, if you take and have a look at, they are all business solutions. Okay, so the key SAP product, or the most prominent SAP product that we have in the market is ECC. I guess some ECC 6.0 is the current version. We are having ECC, Enterprise Core Component. So ECC is the core solution that SAP provides for ERPs, as an ERP solution. Apart from ECC, if you look at anything, BI, if suppose I take Business Intelligence. This is again a data warehousing software provided by SAP to manage and business data processing. It is business intelligence. Okay, it was earlier called as BW, Business Data Warehousing. Okay, now it has, SAP itself has moved it and named it as BI, that is Business Intelligence. It has, the term it as intelligence and not just warehousing. So that means SAP provides you applications or solutions beyond warehousing. It's not just about gathering your data and compiling it and placing it at one place. It's also about analyzing the data, making analytical reports out of this data and come up with intelligence. That is why they call it as business intelligence. You take BI or so many other products, CRM, SCM, okay, web impros or enterprise portal. Okay, NetWeaver as it is generally referred to as. Anything you take, they are all business solutions provided by SAP. Okay, so when it comes to working with SAP application, you cannot ignore business and work with SAP application. You have to be thorough in the business process logic that SAP uses and SAP runs on. Okay, so if suppose you come from a certain business area or certain functional area, functional domain, then the expectation is even higher from you to understand the business functionality thoroughly. Okay, you cannot escape, or you cannot keep yourself out of business logic and work on SAP. That's not possible. Okay, so understanding business is a key aspect of working with SAP. Now, apart from that, you also, if suppose so normally when you are trying to look out for people working on SAP or opportunities in SAP, you come across functional, technical and basis consultants. Okay, you come across people who say that they are a functional consultant or a technical or a basis consultant working on the SAP environment. So functional consultant is basically a person who understands business functionality. Okay, he understands business and business logic and the functionalities of the business. Okay, he understands how SAP runs a certain business and what can it be done to tweak the business processes to meet customer requirements. The next is technical person. Who is a technical person? Technical person is okay, that is what a technical person is. A technical person is basically is somebody who is a programmer with ABAP programming skills. Okay, why I insist programmer is because this is the first thing. To be a technical person, first and foremost thing is you should know to write program. You should be a programmer. You should understand programs. You should be able to solve a problem in a sequence of steps. You should be able to write programs. I'm not concerned about the language. I'm not concerned about the language. Okay, when I see an if condition, I should understand what an if condition does. When I see a loop, I should understand what a loop does. If I give you a problem, you should be able to come up with a flow logic, a sequence of steps to solve that problem. Such a person is programmer. It has nothing to do with ABAP. Okay, it has nothing to do with ABAP. So that is why I said technical person on the SAP environment is a programmer with ABAP programming skills. Okay, then basis and security. Basis and security is generally your system admin and DBA. Okay, people who are comfortable with networking, system administration and DBA activities, they are the ones who focus on basis and security activities. Okay, so technical person is a programmer with ABAP programming skill. Functional person is a business consultant who has thorough understanding of the business process, both the generic business process as well as the same business process within the SAP environment and what are all the key aspects of that business process. Okay, so we are going to focus on the technical skill set. Okay, you guys are interacting with me to pick up the ABAP programming skill to be used on the SAP environment. Okay, so the key prerequisite for a person to do ABAP is he should be a programmer, or at least he should understand the program logic. When you look at a sequence of line, you should be able to read it and understand it. Okay, that's the key, and that can be possible only when you become comfortable with programming. When can you become comfortable? When you are ready to become comfortable. Nothing like that. Okay, 90% of the time it's a phobia that keeps people away from programming. It's more of a phobia that keeps people away from programming. You think that programming is complex. Programming is not complex. It's just that we are using a completely different approach of solving a problem. So given a problem in front of me, I will come up with a solution to get a result of the problem in a sequence of steps. So converting a problem into a sequence of steps, not just directly giving the answer, but the answer itself is generated on a sequence or a series of steps. Step 1, I will take the value. Step 2, I will do this. Then I will do that. Then I will do this. Then I will get the result. So that building up the sequence is the key behavior a programmer should have whenever he approaches any given problem. Then you can start writing programs. ABAP as a programming language will just give you a particular language. Hindi is a language, English is a language, or French is a language. So it's a language, it's a medium of communicating. Similarly, ABAP also is a medium of communicating to the underlying compilers of the SAP environment to tell it to do what you want to do. Okay. So when we are learning ABAP as a programming language, What are the key things? The first part is learn the programming basics. You learn the syntax and the semantics of the programming language, the grammar of the language. You need to learn the grammar of the language. You need to learn what it is all about, how it is all about, how do you go about doing it. Okay, so you learn the syntaxes and the semantics of the language. Once that is done, once that is in place, then we have to learn how to put ABAP to use within SAP. Now this is one of the major limitations of ABAP programming language. Normally when you are learning a programming language, you learn the syntax and the semantics of the language and that's it. You then use the language based upon your knowledge, okay, based upon your ability to think about situations and scenarios. You build up programs. You can use a C programming language to build some simple calculator or some complex operating system. Whatever you want, you can build out of it. But when it comes to ABAP, that is not the case. ABAP will be used in a very specific area called SAP. So wherever you put ABAP to use, it is limited to the SAP framework only. Okay, so within the SAP framework, you use ABAP for the following areas. Okay, to develop RISEF objects. So I am very sure you guys might have heard of this word called RISEF. Like a RISEF or fries or RISEF W, different names by which it is called. So what does this RISEF stand for? Okay, reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements and forms. Reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements and forms. That is what RISEF stands for. Reports. You are developing reports to display the data that is there within the SAP system. Different type of reports are generated to get information about data that is there in the system. Interfaces. Designing and developing applications which will help you to move data in and out of SAP. Whenever you want to send some data outside of SAP, or when you want to read some data into the SAP from some external system, make use of interfaces or interface-based programs. Conversions. Conversions are data load programs. You want to load some data in the legacy system, from the legacy system into SAP. Large volumes of data needs to be loaded. So you write big programs which will take up this data from the file and then keep running and posting all the data into the system. Enhancements. Enhancements are generally used when you want to enhance the standard SAP process or the standard SAP flow to introduce custom changes or custom logic changes into your standard SAP applications. Forms. Forms are nothing but your business document templates. See, whenever a business transaction occurs, an output is generated. You go to a shop and buy something, a printout of the invoice comes up. So they will write an invoice, or the teller machine will generate an invoice and give it to you. So this invoice is nothing but a document which tells that or talks about a transaction that occurred between two people, or a company and the customer and the vendor, or something like that. So forms are basically used to design the layout of those templates. Okay, or design the templates or the layouts for these documents so that the system can use these layouts and actually generate an output. So these are the basic 5 areas where your knowledge and skill of ABAP will be put to use within the SAP framework. Okay, now one key thing that we have to understand is irrespective of the type of SAP system it is. You're working on ECC, or you're working on BI, or you're working on CRM or SCM or anything. The programming language used to develop these systems remain ABAP. All business process logic in any of the SAP system is managed or is carried out using ABAP programming. So within the SAP framework, ABAP is the programming language. But outside SAP, ABAP nobody knows, or you don't use ABAP for anything. Okay. Within the SAP framework, you make use of ABAP for these 5 different areas: reports, interfaces, conversions, enhancements, and forms. These are the areas where we put ABAP to use. Okay, so as part of our training, we will be spending time initially to pick up the basic syntax and semantics. So as you guys are not from a programming background, it will take a little more time. We will go in a little bit slow on the syntax and semantics just to make sure that you guys have picked it up correctly. Okay, see, if you are not been doing programming before, or this is the first time you are getting exposed to programs, still there is nothing to be worried about it. Okay, programming is all about a different way of thinking, that's all. There is nothing different or some complex entity or something. Programming is pretty straightforward. You have to start thinking like a computer, what I always say. Then it becomes extremely easy to write programs. See, how does a computer think? The computer does not think. It will just execute whatever you tell it to execute. So every single detail of what you want, you should tell the system to do that. Then the system will do it for you. Okay. Apart from these things, we will also be looking at cross applications and object-oriented ABAP. Object-oriented programming is a style of programming. It's a programming paradigm. It's a style of programming. So when I say ABAP, we are basically trying to focus on what object-oriented ABAP is all about and how do you go about doing it. Okay. So this is what we will be discussing. This is what we will be doing as part of our ABAP programming. Okay. So if you have any open questions, this is the forum where you can ask your doubts. Whether you should do ABAP, you should not do ABAP. What is your expectations from these sessions? Okay, so that these things will help us to guide and drive the session accordingly. No questions? You guys are completely clear, or you didn't understand anything at all, or have no questions? I had to learn ABAP, that's it.
Yeah, it is clear. Yeah, that's pretty much clear. That was good actually.
Okay, fine.
Very
so
nice.
if you have any, okay, from Rohit's perspective, as I was thinking about it actually, HCM, see, I have not been exposed a lot to HCM, but still what I plan is, because now you are there, we will spend at least 3-4 days on ABAP HR, okay?
Right. That's what I wanted to know, because ABAP HR is kind of very much different, because I've been working on a couple of projects. Right,
exactly.
Because I recently delivered a e-recruiting module for one of the clients based in Russia, and we use a lot of HR ABAP. So that's why I wanted to learn ABAP.
Yeah, so we will be doing ABAP HR, but only on one condition, that you should be involved into it from a functional perspective. Okay, ABAP remains ABAP only in ABAP HR, but the functionality, I am not very comfortable with the HR functionality. So that is where you will have to pitch in, and we will do ABAP HR, 3 to 4 sessions. Normally 1 week is enough. ABAP HR is a 1 week session. So we will try to have 3-4 sessions on ABAP HR, all the LDBs and all this. How long will it take, and how much per session? Okay, how long it will take? It is the session is around 40 to 45 sessions. That's the maximum we have. 45 sessions is more than enough. But what I always recommend is dedicate or allocate a 2-month period. It's like 1.5-month course, but with weekends, and sometimes you are not in, sometimes I'm not in. Okay, we both are in, system is down, anything can happen. So in all these cases, you just have a buffer. 2 months is the time frame. We generally have 1 hour session daily from Monday to Friday. Okay, so I hope you are also based out of US. So Monday evening to Friday evening, that is what we will have. That is, for me, it is from Tuesday morning to Saturday morning. That's a common idea. Okay, 1 hour session we will have. If so, I generally don't extend beyond 1 hour, I will not be able to absorb. So if something is overshooting or some topic, it would be better if it is completed in one shot. Only such topics will continue beyond 1 hour, but otherwise just take 1 hour session, making sure, okay, that you get it. All the documentation, PPTs, materials, exercises, and all those things, I will share it across. I have a common drive and make sure that you people become part of the drive, can make use of those things. Documentations, and okay, I also use the same PPTs and other things during our class sessions. You can also use it, copy it, keep it. Okay, there's so much of material out there. So ABAP is not something very new. It's been there for ages now. So almost all possible scenarios, situations, and other things, documentation is available. It's all about taking it up and reading. So we are